You're now live. Okay, cool. You're telling your followers you're live and you're done. Did I do it? Okay. Join. Okay. Cool. Okay, we're doing this. Okay, let's see. Hello, everybody. Oh, wait, I am not technical, but I'm gonna figure it out, I promise. Thank you for hi, thank you all for joining. Okay, wait, let's see. Send a request, view. Oh, yes, here we go. Okay, I think I've got it. Oh, did I do it? Yeah, I'm doing it. Did we do it?
I think so.
Hi, Mayor Stephanie Rawlings
Hi.
Blake. It is so nice to meet you.
I love the fact that you see I'm an older generation, so the fact that you were having a little bit of technical
Oh,
difficulty warmed my heart because I'm like,
literally my heart is beating out of my chest because I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing it right. I have all these notes on how to do it, and I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, how
listen,
are you?
it's just the future of the free world that at stake here.
I mean, I know, right. I know. It's big business. So, I am so excited to meet you. I'm such a fan.
Thank
I
you.
I
Likewise,
watch
can I
you.
just tell you my DMs have totally lit up since I said that I was going to be on your IG. You have lots of fans on the East Coast.
Oh, well, I'm so glad. Well, they were probably hoping it was Blake Griffin, the NBA basketball player. I
No,
feel
no,
like.
no, 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 no.
I wish I was the NBA basketball player, but anyway. But I'm always watching you on MSNBC and CNN, and I just want to say it is so nice to meet you, and
Thank you.
thank you for everything you've done already for our country. And it's awesome. I'm so glad I get to talk to you. I'm also not a journalist, so this is my first time interviewing somebody. So we'll get through it together.
Well,
Um,
at least we got the memo. We're matching.
we are. Look at that. So where are you? Where are you right now?
I am in my backyard. I
Nice.
wish I would have put on some bug. Well, I do have bug spray. I forgot about that. I
Okay.
I'm in my backyard on my patio. It's
Good.
about 89 degrees with
Oh, hot.
humidity. Yeah, with
With
humidity.
humidity, that East
Yeah.
Coast humidity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you see, I have my bug spray. So
Oh,
if you
that's
hear
good.
something,
Well, I know. Well,
and
I'm
if
from.
anybody is saying hi to me, I don't have my glasses on, so I apologize in advance. If anyone is saying
I think
hi,
some people are saying hello. And
well,
okay, hi Liza. Hi everybody.
hi and
Uh,
hi and hi.
Thank you everybody for joining. So, tell me a little bit, like, how are you doing during this time? What have you been up to? I know that, I mean, you say that your DMs were blowing up. Mine were because everyone is interested in you and what you're
Oh,
thinking and what you're doing right now. And tell us a little bit about how you're doing personally. Like what's going on? How have you been doing during this time?
personally, during this season, I've been doing a lot of reflection and I've
Yeah.
been very focused on gratitude because I loathe complaining just in general because I just don't think it's productive. But when I think about now, like sometimes your first inclination is to start complaining. Oh, I haven't been able to do X or Y, or I haven't been able to get together with my friends, or I want to go on vacation. Like there's a million different things
Right.
that would come to mind, but I immediately stop myself because I think about all of our first responders that are
Mm,
out there. I mean, giving 110% every second of the day, putting their lives on the line to keep people safe and healthy. When I think about those who've lost loved ones during this time, over 130,000 people in this country, and not just to lose someone, but in these conditions where you really properly can't come together and fellowship and mourn. I said to myself, I will take the problems that I have. I will try to be grateful. I think the walls of my house have had enough of me because I've painted everything that could be painted. I've redecorated everything. I've gardened. I've started a garden and killed it twice. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah, I get you. I know.
yeah.
I had this one plan over here that I was trying to, make this part of my apartment look nice, but then I had to push it out because I realized the leaves are brown. So we're
Well, the
sticking
one
with we're
behind you
sticking
is
with these.
beautiful.
We're
That's
sticking with these
gorgeous.
leaves. Yeah. Well, I you know, I I'm with you in the way that I've been thinking a lot about what we can be grateful for. And also, like you, I've been thinking a lot about the people who have really been hurting during this time. And, I know it's touched some of my friends and family personally. And
Yeah.
so I'm just really sending love and my best to everybody out there who's going through this as I know that you are, and to our first responders who are working so hard to, my sister's a nurse, and there's so many
Yeah.
nurses and doctors and people out there who are, keeping us safe, and the grocery store workers that have
I was
kept it
just about
going.
to say
Yeah,
that. I mean,
yeah,
every time I see the folks at my grocery store, I just, I light up because they are keeping our country going. My barista at my Starbucks, it was just like a family reunion when
right.
they opened back.
I
And
get it.
so I
I know.
again, like I know that we will get through this
We will.
without a doubt, but it makes every day when I turn on the news, it makes me long for November,
Yes.
because I know what our country can be like when we have a compassionate president in office that understands the roles and responsibilities of the federal government and doesn't look to scapegoat, doesn't look to sugarcoat, looks to really solve problems, and that's what we really need right now.
Well, I couldn't agree more. So let's talk about that.
Hmm.
Given that, I do have some notes, people, but
I
given
saw,
that,
yeah.
given that, this has been such a hard time, it's been a devastating time. It's had a huge economic toll on a lot of
Hmm.
people. And, it's clear to me at least, and I'm sure to a lot of people, that the Trump administration, the response, if you can even call it that, is not
Hmm.
cutting it.
Right.
And it is, in my opinion, it's in many ways making it a lot worse. And I thought one of the things that we could talk about today is that, you know, increasingly when we watch the news and we see the data that's released about COVID-19, we're seeing that Black, Latinx, and Indigenous communities are being hit, especially hard. Um, and I'm wondering if you could maybe talk a little bit about the structural barriers that you think have led to those disparities.
There's so many structural barriers to um, health equality, health equity in our country. When I was mayor, we did a very comprehensive study and found that the difference in life expectancy based on your zip code staggering, was staggering, and it's everything from having um, walkable communities, having affordable, fresh uh, produce and healthy
Mm-hmm.
food
Mm,
near your home, having access to quality health care, and feeling that you can trust the healthcare. Because in Baltimore, we've had issues where some of the hospitals were doing testing on our communities. So I grew up at a time where there was a lot of skepticism, a lot of questioning about whether to even go to the hospital, because some people went to the hospital and were tested against without their knowledge and against their will. So
right.
there's so many historic barriers to health equity that are really, they're coming to light in this COVID season, and I think it really shines a light on the importance of affordable health care. It shines a light on the importance of transparency and accuracy
Mm-hmm.
around health data. I think it's shameful in some places around the country that they're not releasing, the governors aren't releasing health data. You can't address a problem if you don't confront it. You can't
Right.
confront it if you're not given the information. So, I am very prayerful that people understand the importance of this, not just this conversation, but the conversations that we're having around the country around this election, because our health is in the hands of the voters.
That's well, and I one of the things that I really relate to in what you're saying, just as a person watching the news, right? I've not been a government leader, but watching the news, I think to myself, I think you said you can't confront a problem that you're not acknowledging,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think that for me, that what's so frustrating is watching the news and seeing a denial of these communities and people, and absolutely being denying what the real data is, what the science is around what we need to do to get our arms around COVID-19. So in that spirit, I'm sort of wondering what you think that the public health sector needs to make sure that they're doing to make sure that the needs of these communities, like the Black, Latinx, and the indigenous communities that are being hit particularly hard, how do we make sure that their needs are visible?
Well, I think, I'm in Baltimore with Johns Hopkins. Every day that Johns Hopkins is being quoted for their COVID numbers and their health expertise. We have the experts. Now I think we need to focus on empowering community members. And that's why I think it's important that you see mayors across the country really standing up and saying, just like Mayor Bottoms in Atlanta, going back to phase one of reopening and issuing the stay at home, because she understands it is her primary responsibility to protect the lives of the citizens that have entrusted her with that office. And that is so important, that you have leaders that understand the solemnity of their oath and their duty. We have to work together with mayors across the country to make sure that communities of color around the country and vulnerable communities have access to masks, have access we talked about healthcare, have access to childcare. A lot of the times unfortunately, when you're vulnerable, you put yourself, your health and your family's health at risk because you don't have options. So I think it's really important to think about how we can support families as we're trying to get our country open in a safe way. But we have to think about things like childcare, like healthcare, like transportation, public transportation. All of those things are crucially important. And again, if you have someone in the White House whose go-to is denial, you're not thinking about how the federal government can support people on the ground to ensure that we're safe.
Well, and the other point that I'm hearing in that also really hits me is that, like you said, some people, these first responders, these people
Mm-hmm.
that are working in the grocery store, the people that are getting us our deliveries, right? Not
Mm-hmm.
everybody can stay home, right? I mean, these people are literally putting their you know are putting their lives on the line, and in some cases also their families are involved in that choice too, right?
Yeah.
And so so that we can have the things that we, while we stay home. And I know how hard it is for some people to stay home. I'm not negating that, but I do think that if we had leadership that really got around a testing strategy from the beginning. I mean, this was the thing that I was watching and I'm going, why did we not get our arms around the testing strategy on day one? I realize things take time, right? I see that things take time, but to see testing as a thing that actually, from the Trump administration, makes matters worse, just stop testing, because it's bad for, the NASDAQ, I guess. I mean, I think that that's really absolutely missing the point of leadership, which is to look out for the people of this country, to, protect the the people of the United States. So, you know,
There's a big difference in a president who says the buck stops here and a president that says the buck stops anywhere else but here. And when you have a president that is looking
that's so right.
to blame anyone and everyone, who is looking to avoid fault, um, that's why we find ourselves in this position. When he is unwilling to risk taking responsibility, um, because by saying it's the states, it's the governors, it's this, it's that, it's everyone's fault but his, and it's really at a time where we need the federal government the most. He's really just laying down and determined to give false information, like fluffy language is going to get rid of the virus.
The virus, right? I mean, and so in that spirit, we're obviously both Joe Biden supporters.
Yes.
Yes, go Joe.
Yes.
And so I'm wondering what kind, from your point of view, as somebody who is a leader, right? Mm-hmm. You're someone that's been in that place where you have to make these decisions. What kind of leadership, what kind of leaders do we need, right? What kind of qualities, but also what kind of, what do we need to address both the problems that our country is facing, with COVID-19 and not, but also this racial inequality in health outcomes, so there's so many different parts to this. What kind of leader do you feel that we need?
I think we need a leader who is willing to make themselves vulnerable for the things that they believe in. That's what I was taught. My dad was an elected official, and that's what he told me, that that if you are interested in being a leader, you have to understand it comes with a vulnerability, and that vulnerability is, you're not going to make everyone happy all of the time, but if it is your job, and I talk about mayors a lot because it's the truth. Like, mayors are on the ground. They have to make decisions that are not going to make everyone happy, but it is for the greater good. And you have to be willing to stand in that decision, knowing that you are performing your duties as you have promised, sworn to do. And that's why I know that Joe Biden is the right person at the right time, because he's willing to say when he's wrong. He's willing to put himself, if like I said, the buck stops with him, he's willing to put himself in that position and to say, I'm the one that made the decision, and stand by it. And he has compassion and empathy overflowing. And we need someone who clearly cares about people. And I don't think I don't think there's a person who's met Joe Biden that doesn't leave that meeting with an understanding that he deeply cares about people. And that's what we need more than anything right now.
Yeah, I mean, I have not met Joe Biden, but
you haven't?
I haven't. No, I have not met Joe, but I can say that I remember watching his Meet the Press interview when he was in the Obama administration, and he sort of like led as one of the first major, highest level officials on marriage equality. And I know that for a lot of people, that was and he talked about it in such a human way, right? And so it feels like one thing I always get the sense of is that Joe Biden listens, and that, to be a good leader, you have to be a listener. And how refreshing that would be.
To have someone who listens and cares. You know what I mean? It's almost not listening to hear when you stop talking. That's different.
Right.
Someone that listens and cares.
Right. Yes. And wants to do something to make the situation better. Yeah. I mean, the truth is that no person can get it right all the time. But there's an earnestness of spirit, and there's a kindness of heart. I really feel like from Joe Biden. So that makes me so excited to vote for him. So
yeah.
go ahead.
I was saying that I had the pleasure to ride on Air Force Two
Mm,
with then Vice President Biden and several other mayors. We were doing an infrastructure visit because several cities up and down the East Coast, and actually we stopped in Texas as well because of their ports. But we were preparing our ports. I don't know what the ships are really called. I call them double wides,
okay.
but the big, huge tanker ships, double wides, right?
Right.
That the expanded, the updated Panama Canal can handle, and we went there, and I can tell you there was we hung on every word. He had stories for days, and he was just such an incredible person who understood the power of public service. And we talked about what we need right now. Right now, mayors across the country are not excited about going to the White House. There's really no strong partnership with the current administration. And even when we had Republican administrations before, no one was embarrassed about
Right. Right.
partnering with the federal government. No one, it didn't make you um, vulnerable, and it didn't make you question your own values. Right now, it's very hard for anyone across any mayor across the country to really have a strong I think the mayors that I know that I deal with to have a strong relationship, and I really, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to, that the federal government and the local government can work again seamlessly together.
Well, I have to say, the hope that you're bringing to this conversation gives me so much hope and so much inspiration. It really does. I mean, I knew I was a fan of yours, but
Oh,
now, I mean, it really has given, to hear, also as grateful as I am for all the things in my life, and I've not had it as hard this quarantine as a lot of people. I can say that it is isolating, and so to talk
oh
to
yeah.
somebody and to hear them say, their experiences with Joe Biden, and what we can get back to, this last 4 years has felt like such a long time. So it's just so nice to have conversations like this, and we're going to get them there, with the
Yeah.
people that watch this video either now or later. It's our job to get them there. And I know we
And
can.
it's our job not to be distracted. I've been
Right. Oh.
hello, 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 hello. All right,
Hello. Oh, there we are. Okay, we're not. Yeah, you
all right,
said
all
not
right.
be
Sorry about
distracted.
that.
Yes, that's okay.
Not be distracted. I've done some television lately, and they talked about the poll numbers being great for Joe Biden. Poll numbers are fantastic. Only poll that counts is on election day. So
Right.
I don't want us to be distracted by polls going up or down. We need to be focused on getting voters out. We cannot take anything for granted.
Nothing. Yeah.
You can see this president is shameless, and he's trying to cast doubt on mail-in ballots when he was, he's voted by mail before, and you don't want
That's
to
okay.
believe in
You're
the
here.
conspiracy. Yeah, but and not that I believe in the conspiracy, but I believe in what he's shown is that he's willing to do anything to stay in office. So I don't want he needs to be defeated, and not by a slim margin. He needs to be defeated so he starts packing up on election day.
That's right. And we get a Senate we get a Democratic Senate. So everybody remember what you just heard the mayor say, which is that we all cannot become complacent. We've got to keep our foot on the gas, and we're going to do that. So I think that maybe let's do some lightning round questions,
All
maybe.
right.
That might be a little bit fun. So let's see. Well, where were you when Trump was elected?
I was in New York, ABC News studios on air, getting the poll results from the news, and getting the word on the street from my friends around the country. So I knew before. It was announced, and I was in shock, like
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah. That was a rough
Rough
night
night.
for sure. For sure. What are you looking forward to in 2021?
I'm looking forward to having a person in the White House that my daughter can respect.
Mm, yes, Joe Biden.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do. I know. I
Yes.
was thinking to myself that 2021, we're gonna get Joe there. Coronavirus vaccine, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're
Yes.
gonna get
Yes.
that. We're gonna,
Yes.
and we're gonna have a Democratic Senate. Uh, because if we do that, I mean, we can really turn things around, and so I'm excited about that. So tell us. You've told us a lot about this, but tell us why why you are supporting Joe Biden. 30 seconds or less.
30 seconds or less. I believe in Joe Biden. He has a spirit for service and selfless service. He, like me, he wants to see government work for the people it serves and all of the people, not just the people who supported him, but all of the people. And now more than ever, we need to start to focus on the things that unite us as a country. We're not going to heal the racial divide when we keep stoking racial division. We're not going to be a healthier country if we cannot come together and battle things like this coronavirus together in a unified way. We need true leadership that wants to be accountable, true leadership that wants to be responsible, true leadership that believes in the power of a coalition, and that's Joe Biden.
I agree. One of the things that I was thinking about is that, you know, in addition to being a very abundantly competent commander in chief,
And
that
we shouldn't even have to say that, right? Like
right,
that
right,
should be
like
like a
that's usually
given.
not the thing that is on the table, but it
Yes.
is, right? So in addition to being a extremely competent commander in chief, I really do think that Joe Biden has the power to be and has the compassion to be the healer in chief. I mean,
Absolutely.
which our country has been torn apart in the last 4 years. I mean, it honestly makes me emotional to say it, but we need someone to bring us
I'm
together.
sorry. I see Tracy. I'm like trying to see. I'm saying hi to Tracy, and I'm saying hi to my cousin. Before we get cut off, I see a few people with my glasses not on. I just wanted to say
Yes,
hi.
and hi to Shelly. Hi,
Hi, hi,
Shelly.
hi. Sorry to cut you off, but yes, we
No,
need a
no,
healer in chief.
I just think that he'll be a healer in chief as well.
And
So
listen, maybe the healer in chief can bring some healing to that plant you can't show.
I need it. He's gonna have, yeah. It needs a lot of healing. So, uh, finally, who will be on your mind when you cast your vote?
Ooh. Uh, that's hard. I would say my daughter and my father. My
Mm,
father passed away almost 17 years ago. He was my best friend, my mentor. He taught me just about everything I know about the importance of um, public service.
mm.
And when I think about the type of leader Joe Biden is, it makes me think of my dad. And I will be thinking about him because, he is the type of strong, accountable, transparent leader like Joe Biden that we need. And um, that Joe Biden has already done so much, and in a time where we need him the most, he's decided.
Hmm.
He said, put me in, and I'm just so grateful.
I am too. The last thing that they wanted us to share today was, what wanted us to share our weird COVID hobby. Do you have a weird COVID hobby?
You said we are supposed to share, so you say something first.
Okay, what am I? Well, I tried to start a puzzle. That did not go well. I mean, literally, I got like halfway through the puzzle. It was only
It's all
250
the same
pieces.
piece. It's all the same piece.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And you got to get a puzzle with a lot of different colors because mine had too many. The one thing I did do, and I actually have it here, is my people that follow me know that I love Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
And my sister sent me a Hillary coloring book. So
Oh,
I've
very
been
nice.
I've been coloring to stay calm and pretending for just that time that that all this never happened.
Yeah, I
So
don't.
that
I
would be
think
I feel like that fulfills the weird COVID hobby.
the weird COVID hobby I have is I've been baking.
Okay. What did
Um,
you make?
I, I make bread every
Ooh.
week. I make cakes. I make pies. I make all of these things and I don't eat any of them. And I just keep giving them away. And I know nobody's asking for them.
I need to be
So,
your neighbor.
yes,
I would take them.
yeah.
I would take them.
If you know anyone near in North Baltimore, like
Okay.
literally, like I'm like calling my mom and my poor 80 some year old mother. She doesn't want to hurt my feelings and say she's had enough bread, but like, but I I just made a bourbon pound cake.
Ooh.
Yeah, from but like I'm not a sweet person, but like I can't like that's the thing that I do. I'm
But
baking,
it's
baking,
fun to
baking,
make
baking.
it. I've heard people
Yeah,
say that.
yeah.
I've heard people say that. I do not cook anything. So this has been really tough. A lot of warming things, lots of microwaving, and for me. So I
It
wish
gets
I
the
was your
job
neighbor.
done.
So what we want to do is everybody watching this, we want to please follow Joe Biden on Instagram. Actually, I have a Joe Biden hat, which no
And
one's gotten to
oh, I
see.
need a Joe Biden
So
hat.
I'm
And
going to put
Tracy,
it
yes, your
on.
dad can have
Okay.
some bread if he wants some.
Oh, yes, yes. And so follow Joe Biden
Yes.
on Instagram, and also go to Joe Biden, go to joebiden.com, find out ways that you can plug in even while you're at home. And finally, you can send a text now to 30330 to join the campaign. So do that, please, and get your friends to register to vote. Please get your friends to register. And we just want to thank Mayor Rawlings Blake. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here, and
you.
it has been so much fun. And let's keep doing this. Let's get Joe there. I know we
Yes.
will. All right,
Thank
all right.
you.
So
Take
nice to
care.
meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.